So welcome back for race 2 from the Irish Touring Cars. It's non-championship, and you'll notice we don't have Martin Tracy, we don't have Barry Rabbit, but we do have Philip Burdock out for a bit of glory, all on his own in the front row in the Honda Civic, and away he goes. But look at Stephen Maher from row 2. It's going to be worth his while driving back from France. This is like the World Touring Cars, the BMW just rocketing by the front-wheel drive cars on the way down to turn 1. Great stuff from Stephen Maher, and leading the Rookie Cup this year, remember, and everybody else streaming through. All out for a little bit of fun, remember, as Dave O'Brien, the little Sirocco there, darts through. Blocker Clark with a problem there. Down at turn 1, there's Keith Rabbit in the Mini going through. Murta well back this time in the Turbo Corrado, a little bit of work for him to do. There's Ian Beattie right in there, and Lawless with him too. We're on board with James Mannion now, down into turn 3, looking for a way by Donal Arundel. Another very impressive driver, did a little bit of Uno racing, but has jumped into this Pierce McIrish run Mazda MX-6, very unusual car, but they've developed that car well too, and it's going really nicely. And look at this now, O'Brien getting defensive on the way back up from turn 3 in the little Sirocco. And he's behind 961 Bose now as they come down into the S's. A lot of them side by side. Marr still holding on. Would have expected Burdock to be quicker. This is great stuff. Marr not letting him by at all. Down the inside, very defensive. Burdock nowhere to go. And Marr's car no shortage of power in this either, so Burdock might struggle here. In fact, Marr holding him off in a straight line there. 3.2 M3 engine in that BMW Compact. So, but he does leave the door open, and Burdock is very, very good on the brakes, as we've seen before in this championship, and he dives down the inside and gets back to where he started on the grid. He's right at the front now. Then it's Tom Fahey. Oh, Marr gets the car well out of shape. Not a good place to go off. He's hanging on to it well, but it might be time to just let it spin. Around he goes. Big brown trouser moment there for Stephen Maher as James Mannion goes by in the Integra. Arundel lifts off, and Mannion just trying to have a run at him now down through turn 3. So poor Stephen Maher there had driven so well, but just trying to fight back at Burdock there, and the door being left open, and there's young Rabbit just straight through. Didn't need an invitation, Keith Rabbit in the little Mini Cooper S. That car is struggling a little bit for straight line speed, but certainly handles well, and Rabbit well able to fling it around Modelo Park. So the Integra will have to get his way back by him. Should be quicker in a straight line. Then it's Paul O'Brien just flinging that little Sirocco around. First time we've seen him out racing. He's done some track days. His brother's done a lot of racing in supercars. Then Murta in the turbocharged Corrado. Very unusual car prepared by Jomo Engineering. And just watch it in a straight line. No shortage of straight line power. Mannion gets alongside Rabbit, but Rabbit holding the inside line. He'll try and fight back at the brakes. Indeed he does. Back down the inside. Probably had a lesson or two from brother Barry there. Just touching the brakes to stop himself from running into the Integra. This is great touring car racing now at turn 2. And Rabbit hangs on to it. He's a bit like a mobile chicane at this stage. There's a lot of quick cars queuing up behind him. There's Murta O'Brien now right there too. And Stephen Maher recovering is coming up to them too. So Rabbit just... he's everywhere that Mannion needs to be at this stage, slowing them right down at the apex of corners, then just getting away. Mini beginning to understeer a little bit though. I have a feeling it's hard on front tyres, and that'll hurt him as this race progresses. Goes to the inside for the S's. Look at Maher all over the place in the back. He'll be angry with himself for throwing a potential win away, and he really will want to get by these cars and try and get back up there. Should have plenty of straight line power, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Phil Brennan just coming into shot, the Octane.ie Rover as well. Anthony Murta, great sound from that car, from the turbo as it goes on and off there as he comes through the S's. But look at this, Rabbit under huge pressure this time from Mannion. But Mannion leaves the door open. O'Brien dives down the inside in the Corrado. Stephen Maher going to charge by them, but has to lift off. There's just too many cars in front of him there and can't get by. So Rabbit's still holding them all back, and this is great entertainment. Look at O'Brien up over the curb. Oh, and into the back of the Mini. He just breaks a headlight lens. That'll be hard to get. That's almost a classic car, that little Sirocco now. On board with the Corrado. Again going through turn 2. This is a great battle. O'Brien right in the middle of it. Then Maher. Then it's Mannion there too, and Murta right with them. So Rabbit's still holding on. Waved yellow flags. He's got a car in the gravel there in the background. So waved yellows means no overtaking. But there's no overtaking anyway as far as young Rabbit is concerned here, because he's not letting anybody by in this one. There's Mannion right in the middle of it. Mannion had a go at Rabbit, but has fallen back again. Should be quicker. So where he's really going to be weak is down the main straight. I'm not sure about the Sirocco, but the other cars out there certainly should be quicker than that Mini in a straight line. Here comes James Mannion now in the cutting edge tiles Integra. He's all over the back of Stephen Maher. In fact, he's probably a little bit quicker going through the S's, but the BMW just picks it up on the straight there and rockets up the hill to Dunlop. And in fact, Maher going to have a look down the inside. No, safety car's out. So the safety car, until that car's removed from the gravel, will lead these cars around. So Burdock's big gap is all gone now. And Tom Fahey from Galway, who's really improving as a driver, has a chance of getting a go at Burdock. But Burdock gets the jump when the safety car goes in and gets the hammer down. Then it's Fahey and Arundel. And next up is Rabbit in the Mini. So this is fantastic. Watch out for this battle. Paul O'Brien tries to get it down the inside. Doesn't manage it, I don't think, on that occasion, but Burdock should have a clear run to the flag here. Certainly has a performance advantage over Fahey's Integra behind him. And then it's a Rundle next up. Great run from him. Then it's Keith Rabbit, O'Brien, Marr, all the rest come through. Philip Brennan closing in on this. Watch out for him in the little Rover 25. Ex-Mondello school car. Has a lot of development gone into that, and he's been moving closer and closer to the front of the grid. Really boxing above his weight in that little Rover 25. As indeed is O'Brien in the Scirocco. Looks very high up. Looks like it could do it being lowered down perhaps a little bit for circuit racing. And in fact, it's going to go even higher up in the air. He goes there as he runs out of road on the exit of turn 2. Brave stuff from him. Great shot on board with Mannion now. Look at Marr, he's next up, and he should really be able to just drive by that little BMW Mini or Rabbits, but he hasn't been able to do it just yet. Rabbits being really, really defensive. He knows his way around Mondello Park and comes from good stock, as they say. He's not going to hand this one up without a fight now. So Stephen Marr really going to have to line this one up coming out of Dunlop corner and just try and blast by the Mini on the main straight here at Mondello. And Manuel will want to do the same. He's closed right in on him too in the Integra. In fact, Marr doesn't even wait till the main straight. Slices down the inside, the second bit of the S's. That's not a conventional overtaking place, but nobody told Marr. Just straight by, and he should get well away here. Look at Rabbit trying to have a go back, but he's left the door open now. Mannion gets down the inside, and Rabbit begins to squeeze him into the pit wall. Mannion has to lift out of it. These Hondas, when they go off cam, they really have to get up and running again, so that should save Rabbit this time down the main straight. It does indeed. Stays to the inside, very, very late on the brakes now. And O'Brien sticking it up the inside again. This really is a great little battle. O'Brien just doesn't need a second invitation, straight up there. And Phil Brennan now joining up with them in the Rover 25. So this should get a really good battle now. It's 4 cars out there, and Rabbit's still holding them all up. But Rabbit's car beginning to understeer a little bit by the look of it. I'm sure it's working those front tyres very, very hard, and that should slow him down. Yeah, it is a lot of lock on there as he comes up out of turn 3. And in fact, the Scirocco are clearly quicker as they come through there, but not quick enough in a straight line to hold off Mannion, who just gets alongside, has the inside line for the next one, and should move up a place. Indeed he does, but O'Brien going to try and stick around the outside, leaving the door open for Phil Brennan. There's Mondello's basher beating, doing what he does best, straight into the kitty litter, and just parking it up for the day. So Brennan now is the man to watch at the back of this tail. Look at Rabbit, so defensive on the way up the Dunlop corner, flicks the car over to the right just in case there's a little gap up the inside. But here's where he's at his weakest, and watch out as the Integra goes by him. Good stuff from Mannion. He used the run out of Dunlop well and just drove straight by and closes the door. And Rabbit now beginning to slip back just a little bit, but he has held on so well. O'Brien going to have a look down the inside, perhaps not this time. Almost does. In fact, a little bit of contact between both the cars there at the apex, and Rabbit giving him just enough room, the width of a Scirocco and no more. And Phil Brennan probably wondering, do I really want to get involved in this type of battle, as they head down towards turn 3. And a big flick to the inside of turn 3 from O'Brien there to get on the brakes. But Rabbit holding it all together. He's done well in this one. Relative pace isn't really there, but certainly defensive driving. He could give lessons to Blocker Clark in this one. So the Octane.ie Rover 25 coming back towards us again, and Brennan is going to get stuck into these two. There's no doubt about that as they come down into the S's. Having a look around the outside, should get a good run out of this as a result. So Rabbit's still defending, O'Brien having a go, but the danger man probably in this one now is Phil Brennan there in the Rover 25. Goes to the outside as these two fight away on the inside there, and he gets down the outside. He's so late in the brakes, gets around O'Brien, and I wonder can he have a go at Rabbit. They're going to be 3 abreast now on the main straight. Rabbit doesn't know who to weave at. Look at him in the cockpit, he's looking right, looking left. They're great stuff from these guys. Brennan on the outside, but we know he's very late in the brakes. Watch out for this. And Brennan a little bit later on the brakes, just gets ahead, but he's no way he's going to get across their bows. But O'Brien comes the best out of that one, and Phil Brennan trying to get around the outside of the Mini. In fact, I think he's probably done it. He has. That's great stuff from all these guys, and no damage. Remember, they've been racing so hard all race long, they haven't really touched each other. So I think that's probably the end of Keith Rabbit as we'll see it in this one, because he doesn't have the pace, but he's been driving superbly in defensive terms. But I wonder now, can Phil Brennan have a go at the Scirocco of O'Brien there in front? I feel he probably can. He's come from way back on the grid. Problems in race 1. The car absolutely flying now. And he looks like he's going to have a run down the outside into the S's. Doesn't on that occasion, but maybe he does. He's having a real go there, as indeed is O'Brien. This is great stuff. 2 very different cars, but quite equally matched as they round the second bit of the S's flat out in third gear and head up towards Dunlop corner. And O'Brien doesn't defend, so I wonder can Phil Brennan take a run down the inside? Doesn't do it, no, but might be quicker on the way out. Gets to the inside. This is great stuff from both of these guys. And Brennan's switching back to the outside because that gap was closing rapidly. O'Brien wasn't going to hand that one over. So great battle in the closing stages of this one. O'Brien down the inside again, being defensive, and the Mini just beginning to push on a little bit too much. So I'm sure the Rabbits will get working on this car, Barry and the 2 brothers, and they'll get that car handling just a little bit better, and we'll see plenty more of that in the future in the Irish Touring Car Championship. Here's Stephen Marr now coming down into the S's, and Tom Fahey just in front of him. Arundel right with him. 3 very different cars again, but quite equally matched, having a go at each other. So Galway man Fahey leading this one and using the curbs on the way out of the S's, pushing quite hard. Marr next up, and then it's Arundel right with him in the MX6. And look at the rear wheel drive BMW squirming there. Beautiful sideways drift. He's adapted beautifully to this car, Marr. He started off in a Honda Civic, was winning the rookie class. He sold that car on, and he really has taken to this rear wheel drive BMW like a duck to water. Down the inside. Great move as they go on to the last lap now. And Arundel just not quite with them at this stage. But that was a good move by Marr to get back down the inside and take that place from Tom Fahey. And Fahey, no doubt, will try and fight back. He's another guy that's come on really well as a driver. Big preparation specialist. Does a lot of VWs in out in Galway, but he's driving a Honda this year and it's going well for him. But I wonder, can he come back at this M3 powered compact now as they come back towards the main arena? Stephen Marr doing beautifully though, it's got to be said, and leading the Rookie Cup again. So Fahey locking an inside rear wheel now as he tries to close in, down into the S's in second gear, up over the inside curb and kicking up dust. Looks like he can possibly have a go back here at Stephen Marr. Marr being a little bit just defending at the last minute, centre of the road stuff. Fahey a little bit high and wide. They both turn into Dunlop. Fahey really looking to have a go up on two wheels there at Dunlop corner, and Stephen Marr looking down the cockpit. I wonder, is there a problem with the car? Looks like there's something wrong with the car, because Fahey just driving by, and in fact something dropping off the back of the car there as he came out of Dunlop corner. That's a shame. Stephen Marr had driven superbly in that BMW all day and isn't going to get that result. So Fahey it is now, with Donal Arundel closing in on him. Here's our leader Burdock now coming out of the S. It's been a good run from him. Once he took the lead back from Stephen Marr, he's just driven away from the opposition. Here come the two Mondello boys in their preludes. Then it's and there's the offending item that fell off Marr's BMW on the lap before. We're not sure what it is, but that's obviously what stopped his gallop. Checkered flag for Burdock, his first win of the year in the Irish Touring Car Championship. So Burdock takes it from Fahey, Arundel, Mannion, Philip Brennan and Paul O'Brien. The rookie result is Tom Fahey from James Mannion, Philip Brennan, Paul O'Brien and Keith Rabbit.
Well, that wraps up today's action from Mondello for round 6 of the Irish Touring Car Championship. Be sure to join us here again in Mondello on the 11th of 12th of September for the Leinster Trophy race weekend. For myself and everybody here at Mondello, thank you for watching.